Hey guys, my name is Nick. Welcome. If you missed my nutrition clinic last time that we did it, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on what we went over. Number one question was, how do we lose weight? So you lose weight, you have to eat in a deficit, and the deficit is based on your TDEE. So TDEE. Go onto Google and Google TDEE calculator, and that's going to pull up. You just use the first web page that comes up. It's going to have you answer some questions, your weight, your age, things like that, your activity level. Now, most people overestimate their activity level. So for the majority of people, I would do lightly active, at most moderately active. And you're going to get something, let's just say my TDEE is 3,000, okay? So that's my TDEE. We are going to subtract, that's how many total daily energy expenditure. I'm going to burn 3,000 calories a day, just as a human being, okay? We are going to subtract 500 off of that, and you are going to get 2,500 calories. That's how many calories I need to eat in a day to be in a deficit of 500 calories. So after 7 days of eating in a deficit of 500 calories, I should lose about 1 pound. So my daily calories are going to be 2,500. And we're going to go over the macro breakdown as well. And how do you know all this stuff? You go on to, you track it with MyFitnessPal. So I recommend tracking it. Otherwise, I don't know how much you're eating. You don't know how much you're eating. You don't know how many calories are in any of that food. So we need to probably just start tracking, okay? It's not the best, most funnest thing you'll ever do, but it's definitely something that we need to do. So I'm going to put in 2,500 calories into MyFitnessPal as my goal. Get with your trainer. They will help you put the stuff in. And then you are going to eat 1 gram of protein per pound that you weigh. Now, if you are a female, probably if you are over 175 pounds, this should probably get adjusted a little bit to 0.8. And then most females under 175 can probably be at 1 gram per pound. And then men are probably start at 1 gram per pound, and you can go up to 1.2 grams per pound. And this is based off of your body weight, okay? Again, get with your trainer. They'll help you figure out exactly how many grams of protein you should have, because it will vary a little bit. But for the most part, 1 gram per pound is a very easy way to think about it, okay? Next, carbs and fats. Carbs and fats. That is the rest of what food is made up of. You have protein, you have carbs, and you have fats. So what we need to do is figure out how much of those to have, and that's going to be totally up to you and preference. So if you are Hispanic, for example, you're going to have a lot of rice and beans, tortillas, that kind of stuff. You're going to have a lot more carbohydrates as part of your diet. So you're just going to increase your carbs. Your carbs can be, again, kind of to basis. So let's just say you're going to do 30% from carbs and then 30% from fats, okay? This is probably going to be somewhere around 40% for that protein, okay? If you want this to be 15% carbs and then this to be 45% on your fats, that's perfectly fine. That's preference. It's what you're going to naturally gravitate towards, and so that'll be just fine for you. And vice versa. If you want this at 45% and this one at 15%, then you'll do that. You just have to kind of figure out what you naturally gravitate towards and then suit your carbs and your fats to that, because we don't want to be doing something that's unsustainable. You want to be able to kind of keep it for what your like normal everyday living is, okay? So TDEE calculator, get your number. Again, you overestimate on your activity level. So most of you should be at like low activity, if not moderate activity. If you're a construction worker, you do military PT, and then you also come here and work out, then we are going to be more of a moderate to high activity level. If you are sedentary in your job, and then all you do for exercise is come here and work out, that would put you on the low end of activity. Okay? So DDEE minus 3,000. I'm going to subtract 500 off of that. My daily intake is going to be 2,500 calories. I'm going to eat about 1 gram per pound of my own body weight in grams of protein. And next week we're going to go over what this looks like. I'm going to put it on the table, and I'm going to show you on how I get to that amount of protein in a day. That'll be next week. So 1 gram of protein for most people. And then if, again, some females, if you're over probably 175 pounds or so, we're going to be closer to 0.8 grams of protein per your weight. So that should put us somewhere around 40%. And then carbs and fats will just get divvied up as you see fit. Whatever you're comfortable with, whatever your normal plan of eating is how they'll get divvied up. I would say the low end, the absolute low end on fats is going to be 15%. A lot of hormones are based on fats. Vitamin retention is based on fats. So we don't want to be any lower than 15%. There's nothing there for us. We want to make sure that we're over that 15%. But 15% is your bottom, and then we can start kind of going up from there. Okay? So stay tuned next week, and I will explain to you how we get. I'm 220. I'm 220. So we are going to explain how I get to 220 grams of protein a day, and then you can have a rough idea on how you would scale that for you. So if you're 175, I'm going to have 220, you have 175, and we're going to just kind of scale that a little bit and show you, okay, so instead of, this much for breakfast, you can have this much. Okay? So stay tuned next week, and we'll go over that protein and how we get all of that protein in and why we want to get all that protein in. So we'll see you next week.